Hey guys, it's a proud cat lover, and today I'm making my little update on my crested geckos, which here I have Magma out right now, which as some of you may know is my only male that I have. And I'll kind of give you guys some close-up shots at the end of all my crested geckos, but I thought since I haven't been in any videos, and it's kind of also easier to video with a camera on a tripod and just be in the video than try to hold a reptile with one hand. It's a lot easier to handle them, especially crested geckos or snakes, because where you kind of need two hands for something like that. So I'll kind of tell you how they're all doing. I'll start with Magma, and I'll show you guys their tanks because I cleaned them just the other day, which I think was yesterday, I think is when I cleaned them. And they're going to be getting food tonight according to my calendar. So after this, I'll probably be feeding them after I show you guys their tanks and everything. I have them on a Eco-Earth type substrate, and I got this substrate, which you guys have probably seen in several of my videos, at a reptile show, and I got a couple of the packages for free. And I'm starting to get pretty low on the second package, so I'm probably going to have to be ordering some soon from the people because they have a Facebook page, so I'll probably just purchase some from them. I really like the product, and I can show you guys the product at the end of the video as well, as long as I can remember anyway. So yeah, Magma's been doing really well. He's been gaining a decent amount of weight. He's not like super quick with gaining, but pretty sure he gained 5 or so grams last time I weighed him from the previous weighing time. So he's doing pretty good. As you can see, he looks pretty healthy. He's just kind of looking at me right now like, what are you doing to me? He isn't as comfortable being held as Ember is, but of course that would be expected since I didn't raise him and everything. So, but he's pretty laid back compared to Blaze, which is my other female, which is going to be his mate. And I plan on breeding them in the spring. Okay, so here's Magma. And he's doing his little whistling at me right now. Come here. I can't get super close because my camera won't focus then, but I think I can get about this close. So you can see he's doing pretty good. His colors are really pretty, and he's fired up right now, so it's really neat, the little transition of color on his neck that he has from the white to the kind of an auburn brown color. But anyway, we'll get on to the girls, Ember and Blaze, and I'll get them each out by themselves so that I don't have to try holding both of them at the same time. So I'll get them real quick. So here is Ember, and as you can see, she is a lot bigger than Magma. I think I'm going to be putting her on a diet because she is getting a little big. She was, last time I weighed her, I believe 65 grams, but before that she was 75, and I think she's gotten back up to that weight because she's gotten pretty big. Oh, well, hi Rose. Are you part of this video now too? Okay. So Ember's doing well. She is not fired up right now. She's fired down. I will say that I'm not planning on breeding Ember, but where she is a pet, and I did have thoughts in the past to breed her, but after I've done more research and looked at kind of the crested gecko market, having crested geckos from breeders and knowing their lineage and their genetics and stuff is a lot more sought after, and you can kind of make a little bit more. Even though I'm not really doing this for the money, I do kind of want to be able to get paid back for my time spent and all the care that has gone into the animals. So I will probably not be breeding Ember. She'll be only a pet. And I kind of made this decision also because I have an emotional attachment to her because I raised her from 5 months old. And here she's going to be 2.5 in the next month. So I kind of, if anything were to happen to her, like if she get egg bound or some odd thing like that, or, you know, get hurt to the point where she has to go to the vet, I would feel bad because I know it'd be my responsibility and it'd be my fault. So I'm only going to be breeding Blaze because she I purchased for breeding, and Magma I purchased for breeding. So yeah, on the 28th of December she's going to be 2.5, And so that's a big mile marker. I'm very happy. I'm very glad that she's lived this long. I mean, obviously crested geckos can live 25 plus years, but back when I got her, I wasn't really sure just because she was from Petco. So I am glad that I picked a healthy one, and she's definitely healthy. An inch longer than she's supposed to be, because most crested geckos only get about 8 inches long, and she's 9.5 inches long. The last time I measured, from tail to snout. So, and she's just my little girl. Like, she'll come over and she'll just kind of chill on my shoulder, and she'll just hang out with me, and she gets along really well with Blaze. I'm probably never going to introduce any of my females to my males and vice versa, just because I don't want them to interact. So she probably will never meet Magma, even though she'll just kind of see him over there. So I'll get a close-up of Ember for you, and like I said, she's not fired up right now, so that's just too bad, because she's a really pretty kind of Reese's Peanut Butter Cup color. Like, her brown turns real dark black, and her blonde and brown colors that are on her dorsal turn a real pretty orange color, kind of like Halloween orange, so, or pumpkin orange. So she's really pretty when she's fired up, but I mean, she's still pretty when she's fired down. Here's Ember. See if I can get her to go down on my hand. There we go. And as you can see, she is quite the big girl. Aren't you a silly thing? She doesn't want to cooperate. She keeps wanting to walk up my arm. Hey, come here. Stop being camera shy. There you go. So now we'll move on to Blaze. She's our last girl from the crested geckos. Okay guys, so here is my last crested gecko, and then we'll move on to the leopard gecko, which of course you guys know is Clips. And I think Blaze has some misfiring going on of her firing up and firing down, because she has some bands on her that are light brown and then some that are dark brown. But Blaze is kind of similar to Magma. She's been gaining weight, but it's been really slow. It's just a few grams here and there. And I plan on buying some new scales, hopefully this month, to be weighing them with, because the scales I have now, it's just such a small area that you have to put them on. And the containers that I have to put them in to try to weigh them on the scale with, because they won't sit still, of course, they're so big now. The containers are so big that it can't be weighed by the little tiny disc that's for the scales. So they have not been weighed since October 5th, but they look to be keeping their weight or gaining, which I'll obviously be able to tell when I get the scales. And Blaze, of course, like I said, is going to be the one that I'm going to be breeding with Magma, which it's kind of amusing that all of my crested geckos seem to have names that have to do with a volcano or fire. It was not intentional. The only reason I named Blaze Blaze is just because she's a tricolor, so she looks like she has fire going up her sides. Magma came named that, so I didn't really feel like changing his name. And Ember I named because of her color as well, because she looked like, you know, when you're looking at a fire and it's blacks and oranges and yellows and reds, that's what Ember looks like when she's fired up, so she also got her name from her color. She hasn't, luckily, none of them have matched their name with attitude, so that's good. But Blaze, when I got her, she used to be super jumpy. You couldn't hold her without her jumping everywhere. All of my crested geckos, except Magma, have jumped onto my floor several times out of my hands while I'm standing up. And my floors are wood. So it always would scare the crap out of me, but they've never been hurt, and now I'm really super careful and I have pretty quick reflexes. So none of them have ever managed to, recently anyway, jump out of my hand onto the floor. But Magma and Blaze both have pinstripe in their genetics. Magma has a few pinstripes showing, not as much as Blaze does. As you can see, Blaze almost has a complete pinstripe, like it breaks down here at the base. But the rest of the area is just complete pinstripe all the way up to her crest. And some of you may not know, but I actually bought Blaze thinking she was a he, because Pangea had her for sale as a male. And so I was expecting to be getting a male, And when she arrived, you know, she got older and older because she is like a few months. She's a month. Wait, no. She was born in this month, which is November, of course. And I'm pretty sure that Ember was born in July or August. So a few months apart, actually, just a few. And so when she started getting older, I was like, okay, if she was a male, she'd definitely be showing it by now, and she wasn't. So I actually only had to pay $145 with shipping, because, you know, it's like $40 or $45 for shipping. And she was up for sale for $99.99. So it was pretty much $100 for her. And of course I was getting what I thought was a male. And for a tricolor from Pangea, which I know you can probably get them cheaper from breeders instead of going through Pangea. But a tricolor from Pangea that was a female was a couple $100s. So I actually ended up getting a female for $100 cheaper pretty much. And it wasn't even intentional. So, but I don't have any pictures of the group that she came from because they actually had a group of tricolors that were a breeding group, I suppose you could say. I'm not really sure how many females it consisted of. But they didn't give me any pictures when I asked for, you know, lineage and everything. They just told me it was from one of their tricolor pinstripe groups. And so it didn't really help me too much. I pretty much just have that. But luckily with Magma, I've got a picture of his mom and his dad. His mom had tricolor and he's got a little bit of pinstripe, so I'm hoping that they will produce babies that will be real pretty, that will show each other's traits, you know, pinstripe, and be really dark, because it's nice because both him and her fire up really dark, so they're going to be really pretty dark babies, hopefully. Because I don't know if any of you guys like it as much, but I love when the crested geckos fire up and they're a dark chocolate brown, almost black, with oranges and whites and everything really standing out. It just makes them really attractive. But of course some people prefer other colors, but anyone that likes the Harlequin patterns period is really going to hopefully like the babies. So, but like I said in previous videos, which has been a while, so you probably haven't watched them, or if you have, it's been a while. But, Rose, you're making me lose my train of thought. Now I have to think what I was going to say. Now I can't remember what I was going to talk about. That's why you need a notepad to write all this stuff down, because I always forget. I'll always make the videos, I'll get them edited, and then I'll sit there and watch the video after it's been edited, and I'll be like, ah, that's what I wanted to talk about. I'm not going to remember now. Rose is too much of a distraction because she's a cutie. Here, Rose. You have a piece of litter on your nose. But, oh, right. Okay, I just remembered. So I will not be breeding my crested geckos till my female, which is Blaze, is up to 40 grams at least. And until Magma gets up to 35, which he's already over 35, so he's good. But Blaze is like really close to that area. She was close to 40 grams last time I weighed her, so she's getting there. But hopefully by the time that I go to breed them, these two storage racks will be gone. I'll have a metal storage rack there that will be for storage containers, not racks, but they'll be gone. There'll be a metal storage rack there, and I'll have all the tanks for the babies set up. I'll have a little incubation deal set up, and I'll have the breeding tank that she and Magma are going to go in. So hopefully I'm making a lot of progress. I know this video feels like it's going to be really long because it feels like it to me. So I'll have to edit this down hopefully to where it's not super long, but you guys know, if you've watched my videos for a long time, I like to talk and sometimes I get off topic, so I'm sorry about that. But I'll give you a little close-up of Blaze real quick, and then we will move on to Eclipse. So here's Blaze. You can see here her patterns, and the color that this is videoing isn't really the greatest. But you can see her tricolored patterns that she has here. Then her dorsal patterns are really pretty. They're just kind of they kind of have a reddish brown and the kind of cream color that I really like mixed in. So she's just a really pretty female. She's just kind of small compared to Ember though, but she is gaining more weight like I said. And she is kind of semi-fired up, so she's kind of fired, but she normally is really dark, so she's not completely fired up. But, oh, another important thing that I considered when I was buying breeders is the crest, because a lot of people like crests that are decent size. And she's not wanting to hold still so you can see, but you can see that her crest is real pretty. It really sticks off over the side of her head. So, and Magma's does the same thing, so hopefully the babies will also have these really beautiful crests. And the short snout is what I prefer more than the long snout, which is what Ember kind of, well, Blaze's snout is a little bit longer than Ember's, but they're not by much. So anyway, I'll move on to Eclipse real quick. Okay, guys, so here is Eclipse, and she is a leopard gecko, and she is a normal, which pretty much means that she doesn't really have any amazing patterns or anything, but I still like her anyway. Rose, don't be rude. Don't talk when I'm talking. It's rude. This is what I have to put up with all night, pretty much. Like, until I lay down to go to bed, Rose is just there meowing because she wants out. So, leopard geckos, I'm not really too crazy about them. I do like Eclipse, but leopard geckos are very different than crested geckos. Like, my crested geckos are the type that they'll just sit with me. They'll crawl up on my shoulder and they'll just kind of chill, or they'll sit on my arms. And they will sit there forever with you. Like, they'll walk around, but they won't try to jump off the bed. And they won't try to take off running and get onto my cats. They don't do that. Well, Eclipse here is very independent. She doesn't like to be held very much. She will climb onto my shoulder, but then she'll normally climb down my back and onto the bed, and she will try to crawl off the edge of the bed. And she obviously is not a crested gecko, so she can't jump and land on her feet like they do. She somehow managed to break one of her toes. It's actually this one right here. She somehow managed to break the tip of her toe. Not really sure how she did that. I think the only thing I can think of is she has this hammock in her tank. It's about this big, and it's triangular shaped, and it's a thick kind of vinyl texture, and she possibly somehow snagged, like got her claw stuck maybe in it and went to pull on it, and I don't really know. I never witnessed it. I didn't witness it, I just saw it after it happened. And she hasn't acted like it's hurt her too much, and it's probably just going to heal crooked because it's really weird looking. But as you can see, she's trying to get away already. But like I was saying a while ago, she is a normal. So, I mean, the only thing that she has a little bit of is a carrot tail is what they call, and that's just the orange that's on her tail. She's been kind of going, I guess, on a diet because she hasn't been wanting to eat lately. She's done this 2 other times this year, so it's not anything too abnormal. I've been watching to make sure she isn't sick or anything, and she's extremely active. She's digging around in the tank. She's in her moist hide like once or twice a day. She'll go in there for about 30 minutes and then she'll come out. But she'll climb around on her hides, and then she'll get on the hammock and kind of look around, and she has her calcium in there, which I kind of switch it out. For like a week or 2, I'll have the calcium with D3, and then I'll replace it with just plain calcium for the rest of the month. Just so she gets a little bit of that D3 in her system. But I don't want her to get too much of it, just because I'm not really sure what the effects could be on a reptile. As everyone knows, there's always been the controversy of between D3, without D3, what do you do? So I just kind of mix it up. But yeah, she's starting to lose her patterns. I don't know if she's done growing or not, but her past 4 sheds, she used to have these really pretty slate gray patches that were on these areas right here, and they have almost completely disappeared. She still has a little bit of the gray on her tail, but it's mainly starting to go orange and white. So it's really interesting because I was expecting her to stay the color that that she was when I purchased her, but like I said, she's starting to fade to where she's almost all yellow with just black spots. which normally is what a normal does. And then she still has this little kind of face right here in the middle of her back, which I'll show you guys in a second. But that was one of the things I thought was unique about her, but it did not have anything to do with her name, of course. But I named her Eclipse just because, if you guys probably don't know this, of course, because I haven't told you, but I really like astronomy, and I just love going out and looking at the moon and the stars and everything, and her colors reminded me of what an eclipse looks like, especially a blood moon eclipse. There will be oranges and yellows, and then of course the moon is always normally a whitish cream color. So, I mean, I just decided to name her that. So, it didn't really have much to do with her color aside from she kind of looks like that. So, I kind of wanted to think of something creative instead of like star or something, you know, along those lines. So, that's where she got her name, and I just thought it was a really pretty name too. But she definitely is like an eclipse. She's there one second, she's gone the next, because she is so fast when you put her on the ground. She just takes off running. It's hilarious. Like, she really gets good exercise when I have her in the living room, but I always have to make sure my cats aren't in there, because they don't mess with the crested geckos just because they sit still, but she moves and she's interested in them. Like, she'll go over and she'll climb on them and she'll look at them. So I have to be a lot more careful and a lot more cautious when the cats are ever in the room. So that's why, unless it's nighttime where my cats are sleeping, then I normally don't let her out. Or if my cats are already put up, then I just let her down on the floor in the living room. What are you doing? She's like, I'm leaving, of course. I don't like to be videoed. So I'll show you an up close of Eclipse. And maybe if she's going to, you know, get done with her little fight that she's doing right now where she doesn't want to get on my hand. There we go. But, I should give you a close-up, and then I'm not going to get Raja out. I've been doing a decent amount of videos of Raja in the first place. I'm actually going to be uploading a video after this one of him eating his second Pinky Mouse. So look forward to watching that if you think that kind of stuff is cool. If not, then, you know, just don't watch it. I personally think it's really cool watching snakes eat prey, and of course they are frozen thawed mice. They're from a local breeder that's actually in my town. Well, he's a little bit outside town, but he's from a local breeder. The mice are. So, which is nice, because it was a lot cheaper getting from him than going to, let's say, PetSmart or Petco. He was able to sell me 20 pinkies for $10. It would have cost me $12 to get 6 pinkies at PetSmart. So it was a lot cheaper for me to just go through him. And so far the pinkies have looked really good. They looked pretty healthy before they were, you know, froze. But I don't know the process that they go through to do that, but I can't feed live just because my mom doesn't like the idea. And I wouldn't really have anywhere to keep the live pinkies in the first place. They would need a mother mouse, I'm assuming, to feed them because where pinkies are newborns. So I just don't have anywhere to keep live mice in the first place. So, oh, and she's jumping now. Anyway, I will get done talking and I will show you a close-up Eclipse, and then we will bring this video to a close. So here's Eclipse, and here is her little face that she has on her back here, which if I can get her switched over to my other hand, you might be able to see it a little better. Come on. There we go. Oh. She's the type, like I said, that she never wants to hold still. So let me see if I can get a hold of her. Just kind of have her pose here for a second for you to see the little face. It is hilarious that she, oh, that just scared the crap out of me. I have a Febreze deal that sprays into my room every 30 minutes. And I got so scared because I'm not used to having it on. I normally have it turned off. But, yeah, so that's why I jumped. But we'll get a little close up here now. But yeah, like I said, she is a normal. And her patterns are starting to kind of decrease to where they aren't as visible anymore. Oh, and Blossom just woke up from a dream because he hissed. Yeah, if any of you have cats that you know, hiss or snarl in their dreams, then you can leave a comment because it's the most amusing thing. Just make sure they're not sleeping on your pillow with your head, because I've been kicked in the face before by him while he was dreaming. Okay, so I'm going to put a clips up real quick. There we go. And I'll show you guys their tanks real quick, which I'll pause this. Hey guys, so I almost forgot to show the bedding. I was editing the video just now, and so I'm going to put this in real quick at the end, and it's... So I'm going to put this in real quick. This is the bedding that I use for my crested geckos, my leopard gecko. Obviously not for Raja, because Raja has his own type of substrate. But for my other reptiles, I use this, which is a premium pet bedding. It is substrate, and you can get large chips, which is in this picture, or you can get a mix, which is a mix with the substrate and large chips. And the large chips you can use for snakes. So, and other types of reptiles like tortoises, like it has on here, tortoises. Okay guys, so this is their website. And they also have a Facebook page, which is here. It's called dubiaroaches.com if you just type that in on Facebook. But they also have a website if you go to their Facebook page and you click Shop Now, or if you just type in Dubia Roaches right there. And so this is their website, and like I said in my previous part of this video, I'm probably going to have to be ordering some more, which I guess while we're on the topic, we might as well look and see how much it costs to purchase the bedding so that you guys also can see for yourselves. Let's see, and it's probably going to be this here, I'd assume. Yeah, so it looks like it costs $11 for this big of a container, which I'm pretty sure last time I looked, it comes with 20 liters. I'm pretty sure with Eco Earth it only came with around 6, which let me look real quick and see if I can find out real quick. Okay, so it says here that Eco Earth comes with 7 to 8 liters of substrate, and let's see, on here, which this is a different website than normal, let's see, it normally costs about around the same price probably at Petco. Now that other website that I was just on had a really good price on it. But so yeah, if you guys are ever interested in purchasing some of this for your reptile, you can look into checking these people out on Facebook. Okay, so here is the female's tank, which has Myrrh and Blaze in it, and you can see they're still kind of out after I put them in their tank. And they both have a big philodendron plant, which is this plant here that they are both resting on, because you can see Ember really likes this plant. She's right there. And then they both have a very shallow amount of the Eco Earth type substrate, just so that it'll encourage them, if they want to do any digging, to go into their lay boxes, which are what these containers are right there in the corner, which has about 3 inches of the substrate in it. So they will have plenty of substrate to dig in. Then of course they have 3 of these plants, each one's different. They have 2 on the plexiglass, both of them do, side by side, and then they have 1 in that corner, and then there's 1 in her corner back there. And then of course they have these vines here. They're from Pangea, and they're both 6 feet long. Each tank pretty much has the same stuff, except Magma doesn't have a philodendron, he has a cork log. And of course he doesn't have a lay box. And then of course they have these feeding trays right here. So yeah, Blaze is just kind of watching. She's like, what are you doing? And then yeah, here's Ember. So now I'll show you, and I have to put the lid back on her moist hide because that's where Eclipse was a while ago. I'll get her tank light turned on real quick. And so you guys know, I use just LED lights for my tanks just because they don't produce heat, and if they do, it's not very much. But yeah, so here's Eclipse. And then I have a new moss, which is the same moss that I use for my snake, and that's the moss I put in there for her, because it seems to hold moisture a lot better, and it's a lot softer than the other moss. Yeah, see, here is the hammock that she has, and Magma has one as well, and that's what it looks like. So I'm not really sure if that's what caused her toe to break or not. Then we'll go over here, and this is Magma's tank. And there he is, he's sitting there. And this light up here, both Magma and Eclipse's lights are from fish tanks. So there he is. He really likes his hammock, and then there is a mushroom, which you can kind of see that brown that's down there. That's the mushroom ledge that he has. But here is the log. And of course it's a log, duh. It's a cork log that I got from PetSmart, or it was Petco. I got this from Petco. And then of course he has this new vine that I just got for him. It's ivy. Each one of them has a different vine, that way I remember whose tank it goes in. And of course he has these two silk plants. One is here, and then one is in the back there, which is that plant that's shaped like a dinosaur foot, or a maple leaf if you want to be less creative. And then of course he has the bedding, and it's a little bit deeper in his tank, just because where he is not a female, I don't mind if he digs around in his tank or not. So that is their tanks, and I'll go ahead and end the video now. So thanks for watching. If you watched the entire thing, thank you so much, because it took forever to make the entire thing, and I'm sorry that it was so long. So anyway guys, thanks for watching, and have a good day.